All right, all right. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Is your DFB anchor, Eli. Today, I'm right here in the building with our DFB King, man, King Anthony. How you doing today, King?
I'm marvelous, man. Can't be better.
Yes, yes, man. Can you just give us an introduction? Who you are, what you do?
Yeah, man. Anthony Christoph, like you said, I'm in the DMV area, specifically Maryland. 26 years of age, got 2 degrees from college, working full time right now in multifamily real estate, and just, finding my way just like everybody else,
Yes.
you know, but that's just the long and the short of who I am. And yeah.
Yes, yes, that's nice. Well, thank you very much for that introduction, man. Wow. Before we go any further, I really want to say congratulations, on your win, on your journey so far. It's been amazing, man. Can you just give us a light on that? Like, even before joining DFB, what prompted you to make that decision to join the team?
Uh, it's funny because even when I had this conversation with Saya, my dad is actually good friends with Saya. They're associated with each other through the Marine Corps.
Yes.
And before DFB, I was always in the weight room. I like to say that I was raised in the weight room.
Mhm.
Nothing foreign to me. But I always had a goal to because growing up, my issue was keeping my body weight down, so to speak. Um, Keeping a nicer physique was always something that's been difficult for me. And I never really minded it at first because I played high school football, so you needed to exercise.
Yes.
I played defense, I was hitting people, things like that. And then you get into college, and I was very self conscious when I first got into college. So I was very deathly afraid of that freshman 15. I actually lost 10 pounds my freshman year. Then I went home that summer, lost 10 more pounds. That was probably the best shape I've been in since now, or until now, was my sophomore year at college. Then after that, then the partying and the late night eating and hanging out, it
Yeah.
kind of did its thing. And, I was living the party boy, college boy life, doing it up. And then it was kind of hard to turn back from that, and not that I didn't make any um, you know attempt to do so, but learn what this process has taught me is you could put all the effort that you want into it, but if you don't know exactly the things that you need in place, or the things that you're supposed to do, it's going to be hard to get there. Walking into a gym and just slapping on 225, warming up in the squat,
Yes.
315, and 405. I could pick up weight. I could lift the world. That was never my problem. But it was like you're doing things that are not conducive to what you want. That's what the message was. And
Yes.
so now is he put me through that, and then it changed my perspective on a lot. So DFE changed me from the inside out, inside more so than anything. And the outside was going to happen. So,
Wow.
but yeah.
Wow, that is good, man. Thank you for sharing that aspect. As you say, at some point, realize, man, okay, it's time for something to change. I just say lifting the weight. I mean, look, it's everyone can do that,
Yeah,
but there's more
everybody.
that goes into that. Like you said, the changes occur inside out. What are the inside changes that occur? If you don't mind sharing, that aspect through DMB.
Uh, you know, I, as far as the inside changes, man, you when you hone in on something like this, whether it's weight room, business venture, school, whatever it is, man. I think a lot of us spend more time on a subconscious level in denial, right? So what I mean by that is a lot of us understand what needs to take place. We spend about 5% of our time, consciously thinking about that. And the rest of the time is kind of like why we can't do it, or why we shouldn't do it, or why we wouldn't do it, or, what was in the way today, or, how much money I didn't have, or, it's real easy. What this process showed me is, you have to be very particular and specific as to where you want it to go,
Yes.
and then it makes everything so much easier. And that was my main issue, hashing that out with Saya, is because I've always been a big visionary. I've always been able to see the things that I want. But my problem was, I think, so big, and my outlook on the world was just so much, you know, looking out, that looking at what I was deficient in was just not even a part of, you know, my thought process at all. My biggest one of my biggest downfalls, and I guess in a way is a good thing depending on where you look at it, is that I've always walked around with a chip on my shoulder. And I've always thought that I could do everything on my own. And I took a lot of pride in that for so long. You know, even in school, I was I didn't like getting help from teachers. You know, speaking of lifting weights, you know, you're in the weight room with your teammates and things like that, or your friends. And, nah, I don't need no help. I'm good. Let me go. That kind of thing is like, all that is cool. All that is great. But it's like at some point, you have to reach out and seek knowledge. You have to seek some wisdom from somewhere else. And, you know, from the first time, you know, Saya saw me, he was like, yeah, I could tell you strong. And the first thing he told me was like, what the heck are you doing? Because your back looks ridiculous. You got muscles. And I told him what I was doing, this and the third. He's like, yeah, I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but I'm going to show you something different.
Yes.
And I would have never thought this is what he would have shown me at all, you know, because I guess he worked with my dad before.
Yes.
And it worked wonders for him as well. But I was like, man, like, this is something I never would have thought, because that's the only way I knew how to work out, is the way I was doing it. You know, it's just, you know, you go in there, you don't wear gloves, or you're considered a wussy. You put on a bunch of weight, you move it as much as you can, as fast as you can. You know, you pile that on with another workout right after that, and it's just like, then you do conditioning, and it's like, all right, like, that makes perfect sense as to why your body's not changing, because you need all this mass to be able to do all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
You know, so that's one of the many lessons. You know, you can't do things by yourself, and it's much easier to get to where you're going when you know exactly where you're going. It's easier to get to that every day. So once I knew where I wanted to go, it was just every day, just going to do the same thing. And over time, it's just chipping away. And so that's one of the biggest lessons.
Wow. That is true, man. Like you said, you know, is a whole philosophy of, you know, of even approaching the gym, you know, the weight room, right? Like you said, man, you know, you become humble, right? I believe part of the training you probably went through was called the ego breaker. How was that for you?
It definitely broke me, man. I tell you this, man. You know, when I first started the ego breaker, man, I was still doing the same old thing. Like, I was slapping on weight, something like that, like 25, 34. I could do. You learn real quick. It's like, man, I don't know, man. This ain't sustainable. You may get away with a couple sets, but you know, you kind of have to, you know, and this is a part of the process where I was telling Cyrus, like, I'm at a point where I kind of just have to check myself.
Yes.
You know, it's not, even though I could build up the momentum, or the whatever you want to call it, to get through that with a lot of weight. You know, it's just not, it's still working against you.
Yes.
When you're not allowing yourself to really, you know, get a good contraction, things like that. So definitely broke me. Definitely was a workout, at least program, that I was not accustomed to, used to ever. And you're talking to a dude, you know, I kind of gave you a gist of what we were doing in high school. I also participated in some CrossFit from time to time. I was actually pretty good at that kind of stuff. Like, I could do what everybody was doing on the TV, you know, the muscle ups, the things like that.
Yes.
So I'm used to moving fast and hard, and there is no breaks.
Yeah.
And that's just what I'm used to. That's just what I know is a good workout, to the point to where it was like, if before this, if I had saw someone working out like this, I'd be like, yeah, I just can't. I could never imagine myself being a partner with that guy. Like he's just doing too light a weight. He's not moving, like. But now it's like I'm moving slow. I'm using lighter weights, and I'm seeing a much different result.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, it put me in check in a way that I probably would have
Yeah.
never imagined.
Yeah. That is
In a
true.
good way, of course.
That is
So
true.
shout out to you guys.
Wow, wow. No, that is good. That's why that specific workout is called the ego breaker, where you yourself, no one is gonna tell you but yourself, like, man, let me check my ego, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly.
45 pounds, let's try 20 pounds real quick.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because more people now are like, yo, like you got small in it, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, look, man, I'm just out here just trying to just get better, man. That's
Yeah.
all. And then you just it the lessons are endless, man. But that's every time you're gonna ask a question, I'm gonna tap on something. But that's You
Yes.
kind of had to get out of the funk of you had to come to the realization like you kind of care what people think.
Mm-hmm.
You need to kind of stop doing that and
Yeah.
just do what you need to do. So
Man, I love that part. Just do what you need to do. Don't care about what people think, right?
yeah,
That's everything. You let yourself, like, you free yourself from a lot of stuff when you get rid of that thought, like, I don't care what they think, right? Because, like you said, you're a big dude, and then all of a sudden everyone is seeing, like, if you take into consideration what they're thinking about you, then achieving the result you want will definitely be a little bit difficult or harder.
exactly.
And that definitely leads me to the next question, right? At DFB, we teach, this three basic philosophy, right? Which is discipline, focus, and balance, right? Those three attributes, how important do you think it was for you, or how important do you think it is for you to achieve, the results you've achieved so far with DFB?
Discipline, focus, balance, man. Those are like the pillars of what you need to have a good grasp and understanding. And if you don't have it, you got to get to it quick because this over the last 3 months of some change with Saya, you kind of learn this is just a brief synopsis of what life is going to offer you. So and we're going to keep touching on a goal, where you want to go. You have to be very particular. And then when you find out where you want to go, man, and you find the formula that works, all you have to do is just keep doing that. Keep doing that. But that sounds easy. It sounds simple. It's not easy. And that's where the discipline comes in. I'll tell you another thing is, it's funny that people started noticing a change in the way that I looked, and then everybody had everything to say, right? So it's like, then you had the chicks that was walking by, like, I liked you better when you were bigger. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah, my boss, after I got promoted, he's offering me food, every now and then my parents will be like, yeah, you want to go out to eat, man? No, it's so easy to say yes to certain things that you ain't supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Even when I'm by myself, I commute an hour to and from work every day, and you can only imagine how many good restaurants in the DMV that I pass. And it's just like, man, I'm hungry, man. Like, I just need to go get just a little sliver or something. So it was like, nope. And there was nights, and you guys know my father. You could ask him where my family would go out to eat, and I would just sit there and I don't eat anything. I'm just drinking water. Wow. And they're like, yo, like, you really are into this. Like, man, I'm just locked in right now, man. And that's the discipline part. It's the focus, and balance too. You have to be able to not necessarily balance like, cheat days and that's not the balance I'm talking about. You get to do all that kind of stuff once you've achieved a certain level. Right now, when you get into where you need to get to, it's really no time for any of that. So, balance, I would just say you need to be able to balance yourself between what you need to be doing, what's important to you, and keep. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but you just need to be able to discern what it is you need to be doing versus what it is you like to be doing that would deter you from where you want to go. And it's kind of like getting a balance of you kind of sitting in between of I want to be here but I'm kind of cool here.
Mm.
But it's like I'm not gonna be cool if I stay here for too long. But
Yes.
if I don't get here fast enough, it's like So it's kind of like you just need to be able to just stay focused on the task at hand. And I wouldn't even put a date on it there first. You know, you just got to be able
Yes.
to keep going. I'm 3.5 months in. I'm still doing it. I don't have plans to stop, at least for not right now.
Yes.
They play around with it here and there. I don't have nothing to stop. Everything's working right now. Everything is doing what I need to do. So, and even now, you know, me and Syed, we don't you know, communicate as much as we did before, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Syed's a lot more comfortable with me just being by myself now than he was a couple of weeks ago or 3 months ago. It's like, I don't need to talk to this dude. I know where he's at.
Yes.
I know if I call him right now, I know where he's at.
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't playing. That boy's not playing no games. I'm not.
Wow. Man, that is beautiful, man. You are right about that, right? That 3 phases, you know, we put, you know, people that come to delve through, and the last phase is what you just said, right? Where I have total, complete trust and confidence that you got it. You know, you got it. We don't need to call every now and then like we used to when we started. You are at the point where, you know, you have complete ownership of the direction you want to go to in your life, man.
Exactly.
Wow, that is beautiful, man. Wow. Like, you know, just to hear you speak in this manner and just, you know, the passion, the excitement in your journey so far. You know, when I seen, you know, just your progress, man, I was just astonished. I was like, my goodness, like, you know, the world definitely needs to be inspired by this, right? And like you say you don't have any plans of stopping soon. So, you know, looking further ahead, what does the future hold for Anthony, man? Like, you know, what is in plan for you?
As far as fitness and wellness is concerned, you know, I still would like to cut a little bit more. Definitely like to stabilize at the weight range that I'm at. I haven't been this weight since probably 8th grade, going into freshman year of high school, man. And you know, I'd like to really get stable at this weight before I, you know, because again, packing on muscle is never going to be an issue for a guy like me.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it's that time, it's just that's second nature to me.
Yes.
So it's really just about honing in on where I'm at, you know, enjoying this, being grateful for it, and then just taking, you know, the formula that worked for me here and just applying it in other places. So
yes,
you know, I've been reaching out to other people. You know, I've been trying to build a better, you know, network, so to speak. I've been having people put a lot of golden nuggets in my ear as far as other industries that I'm very interested in being a part of.
yes.
You know, I'm just trying to get locked in on what my next goals are. You know, a big thing that I kind of told Saya is, you know, I'm really trying to get to a place where I look at time differently. That's another big lesson that I learned was the time factor that I wasn't including into all this. And so now that I have a better idea on that, you know, I kind of want to get to a place where I'm comfortably like thinking and planning and living my life 90 days at a time. Yeah. And where are we now? The fourth quarter of the year is the last 90 days.
Wow.
So you know, big things are coming. Still right now, I'm just, you know, in the beginning stages. Even when, you know, Sai gave me the talk, your next level, this and the third, like, man, I celebrated this win 24 hours ago.
Yes.
I'm over it already. It's time for something else. You know, so it's you know, so I'm not even allowing this kind of stuff, and I want to be, you know, doing this and giving a good message to everyone who's on your team, you, Saya, and everyone who's going to tune in and work with you guys in the future, because this is the real deal. Yeah, but you know, it's more to come, man. More to come, and I do plan on getting on stage too eventually.
Hey, look, I was gonna ask you, but you know the frequency we're on, I'm like, he's gonna pick up the wave.
Yeah, eventually, yes. At first, when I started with you guys, I was telling Sai, yeah, man, I'm just trying to, you know, get in shape, this and the third, and I was just kind of starting to look at myself after a while, and I could see it. I could see it, doing a show, just to stand up there with some other dudes that's up there with the elite physique. Just to be able to stand up there would be kind of cool, But I ain't going up there to lose, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Ooh, listen.
I ain't going up there to lose, though. I don't know. I mean, I ain't stepping on those stages to get a ribbon. I'm taking the thing home.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes.
But yeah, definitely something I want to get into eventually. I want to see myself doing it, and we'll see where it goes with that. I've never been into physique, the physique athlete thing or the bodybuilding thing. I think everybody in their own right in the gym that's progressing is a bodybuilder, so I don't really like putting myself in that. But either way, eventually you will see me on stage.
Oh man, look, man, I'll tell you this. I know for a fact it's like, not like it is, maybe, no, I know for a fact I will see you on the stage. I know that is coming. That's why I said, I'm like, I'm going to ask him that question next, but you know what? I'll send out the frequency wave, man. Hopefully it picks it up. And you did. Absolutely. And again, like I said, man, there's no doubt in me. There's no doubt inside that, you have what it takes to annihilate people on the stage. Let me put it that way. That is it. Like you said, you're not going to grab river. You're going to go win, man. Wow. And then lastly, to finish up this interview, right, is what advice do you have for anyone right now that is like, why should I, become part of Deadly Fit Body? Why should I be DFB? Why should I join? What advice will you give to them?
Well, I would say if you find yourself asking those kinds of questions, it's probably because you subconsciously understand that you need to be a part of something like that. And if you're already kind of there, maybe consciously or subconsciously, I would ask you if you're happy where you're at, right? And I think it's all about perspective. To guys like you, Saya, me now, we're going to look at each other and this is normal stuff now. Where to someone who's struggling with that, someone who aspires to get there, someone who's tried and failed, which is nothing is wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing, is failure. You're going to look at that from a different perspective and think like, who do these guys think that they are, kind of a thing. And I would challenge you, maybe it isn't Saya, maybe it isn't Eli, maybe it isn't DFB, maybe you find another group of individuals. Or maybe you do this thing on your own, watch a YouTube video, who knows? But I would just say this, you need to sit down with yourself and kind of do like surveillance on yourself, so to speak, and challenge your whys. A lot of people want to do things, but when it comes to answering that question, that simple question, why, everybody gets stuck. Everybody starts beatboxing. But you don't even know why you even questioning me. Let's talk about why you're questioning me. About why I did DFB and why you think you should DFB. Let's talk about why you even put the energy forth to even ask that question. We can just break past the fact that you want to do it. So just do it. You know what I'm saying? So just do it. You know what I mean? So and it can be you, and it can be you if you're someone who's not experienced with these two gentlemen or anyone in that facet, and you're thinking like, dang, I could never. And I would ask you why you would feel that way. For one, because your feelings are valid, and let's work to change that. Yes. And you have a great team here with the results to back it. From within their team and for people that they just work with, to get you to where you need to be. And you don't necessarily have to be a bodybuilder. You don't necessarily have to be on stage. It's just maybe you just want to get to a different place health-wise in your life. And I would challenge you to do that, because once you do that, your whole life is going to change. Your whole perspective is going to change. And the limits are endless for you. So that would be what I would say is, check your why for one. If you're not happy, that's fine. Be open and honest about it, and let's see what we can do to fix it. And then put your money where your mouth is. All that negative energy, put it back into what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
that's it.
Thank you very much for this, man. I enjoyed our interview. I enjoyed this time. And to everyone watching this, man, this is the first time I'm talking to Anthony, and I love you know, his personality, everything, man. I can't wait to work with you further in the future, you know, to conduct another interview when you're about to step on stage and everything, man. Thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. It means so much. Thank you for everything. And yeah, many more of these to come for you guys, and more success to everyone. Peace and love to everyone.
Yeah, yes. Again, the DFB Anchor signing out, and you know I always live with 3 words, which is desire, faith, and belief.